Sometimes I'm struck by the honesty of the scriptures. It just doesn't edit things. It doesn't hide things. Things that could seem embarrassing, things that could seem confusing, things that our leaders wish were never in the actual scriptures that people read and preserve for centuries and centuries. No, our Bible includes everything. Even when doubt motivates Jesus to move, which doesn't seem to make sense. I mean, our definition of doubt is something more along the lines of lack of faith. But maybe Jesus sees a kernel of truth inside of every doubt that we simply don't see. My text for today is Mark chapter 9, verses 14 through around 27. It's this incredible scene where Jesus comes down from the Mount of Transfiguration in verses 2 through 13. And Jesus finds a commotion. Verse 14, it says, a large crowd was around the disciples, and the teachers of the law were arguing with the disciples. Jesus comes into a mess, a riotous situation. Verse 15, as soon as all the people saw Jesus, they were overwhelmed with wonder and ran to greet him. Jesus then asked the natural question in verse 16, what are you arguing with them about? Like, what's the issue? Then comes the embarrassing issue. Verse 17, a man in the crowd answered, Teacher, I brought you my son, who is possessed by a spirit that has robbed him of speech. Whenever it seizes him, it throws him to the ground. He foams at the mouth, gnashes his teeth, and becomes rigid. I asked your disciples to drive out the spirit, but they couldn't. You see, Jesus comes down from the Mount of Transfiguration, one of the most stark and incredible revelations of his identity in his ministry. He comes down to a scene where his identity is being questioned. Because if he truly is the Messiah, if he truly is the Son of God, then why can't his disciples that follow him cast out a demon who belongs to the evil one? I mean, you would think if he is this cosmic Christ, that then he should have this ability to command the evil one or his minions to do his bidding. Jesus gets annoyed in verse 19. You unbelieving generation, how long shall I stay with you? How long shall I put up with you? Bring the boy to me. Jesus is like he's in a bad mood. It's like he's frustrated. Almost to the point where maybe it doesn't even seem like he wants to really be engaged in any sort of healing or miracle. And yet, he's motivated to do it nonetheless. How? By what? By doubt. Verse 20. So they brought the boy to him. When the spirit saw Jesus, it immediately threw the boy into a convulsion, just as the father had described. The boy fell to the ground and rolled around, foaming at the mouth. Jesus looks to the boy's father and asks, how long has he been like this? With almost a quiver in his voice, you can hear the father respond, from childhood. It has often thrown him into fire or water to kill him. But if you can do anything, take pity on us and help us. And that little kernel of doubt catches Jesus' attention in verse 23. If you can do anything, Jesus said. If? Everything is possible for one who believes. Immediately the boy's father exclaimed something that seems like should disqualify him from actually having his son healed. For this is what the father says. I do believe. Kind of. I do believe. Just help me overcome my unbelief. I do believe, but I still struggle with doubt. When Jesus saw that the crowd was running to the scene, he rebuked the impure spirit. You deaf and mute spirit, he said, I command you, come out of him and never enter him again. And the boy experiences a type of resurrection. Verse 26, the spirit shrieked, convulsed him violently, and came out. The boy looked so much like a corpse that many said, he's dead. But Jesus took him by the hand and lifted him to his feet, and he stood up. A miraculous healing, an incredible miracle, motivated by the father's doubt. Why? Why would Jesus reward doubt? Why is it that he begins the scene frustrated with this unbelieving generation, and then the father in his honesty says, I believe, but I need your help with my unbelief? And Jesus responds with the healing. I think the answer is this. Because you see, Jesus understands that at the very kernel of doubt is a craving for the truth. That the only reason why doubt disturbs, why doubt disrupts, why doubt causes us to toil is because we have an insatiable longing, a vast thirst, an incredible hunger for the bread of life, for what is true, for the only thing that can satisfy someone's doubt is an experience with the truth. Which is why I love John 14 when it says, Jesus speaks and says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. What is doubt? How does it motivate Jesus? Whenever Jesus recognizes doubt for what it truly is, a craving for him. My challenge for you this week is to put doubt in its place. Don't hide from your struggles. Bring them to the Lord. Don't hide from the questions. Bring them to the Lord. Don't even look for mere solutions to the things you don't understand. Descend into the mystery of the infinite God and orient your craving toward the only one that can quench it. Truth personified, Jesus himself, God incarnate. I love you guys. Have a good week.